Hey ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. As always, it is Nick here, back through daily crypto news and analysis, and today we're going to be talking about the Luna situation yet again because we did just see a major update around a possible class action lawsuit and insider trading. So let's just dive in. Let's not waste too much time here at all. I just want to talk to you guys real quick about the price. As you guys do see, the price has went down because we did see an announcement around a fork possible for Terra Luna, which is pretty interesting now, as we do see, almost a Luna 2.0 being launched, which we're going to be talking about and addressing in this video. We do see the volume down about 22.40%. We also see the price down about almost 13.5%. And of course, UST itself is also down significantly. I haven't really checked it too much, so let's actually go check out Terra USD. So here we have it. It's down 37%. It's sitting at about 11 cents. Pretty significant. But ultimately, today I don't want to talk to you guys about the prices of Luna or UST. I just figured I would, update you real quick on that. But obviously, Luna has been making the rounds here. As you guys do see, Luna up here, a revival plan for Luna. We actually just seen a revival plan, basically 2.0 released, which we're also going to be talking about. But let's just dive in and let's talk about this possible insider job and class action lawsuit and criminal proceedings that could actually come with this. So shout out to Paulo the Parrot here, but we do see here it appears an insider job was allowed to be carried forth to bail out a whales, all while the retail bag holders got incinerated. Massive class action / criminal proceedings possible with this. And here we have it. So again, we do see down here, according to the Luna Foundation Guard, which operates a reserve pool backing UST and its related token Luna, holders of $2.7 billion in face value of UST were able to sell them for Bitcoin in 2 transactions last week, one with an effective Bitcoin / UST exchange rate of $32,334, and the other with an effective exchange rate of $35,054. Pretty interesting, right? There we have the Bitcoin sold 46,876 for $1.5 billion UST value. 32,334 was the conversion rate. And now we do see down here 33,206 Bitcoin sold for basically almost $2 billion. Conversion rate was about 35,054. Pretty interesting. Now, when we look down here, we do see that it did not disclose the timing of the transactions. However, evidence from Elliptic, a cryptocurrency research firm, suggested that the transactions took place on May 9th and early on May 10th, when the UST price traded in secondary markets as low as 60 cents in the dollar. Now, this is interesting because although this was on May 9th and May 10th, right? Because if we were looking at the price of Luna May 9th and May 10th, it's like roughly around like $60 to $30. It was early on May 10th when that transaction was, taken. So let's go back on the 1 month here real quick and let's kind of zoom in. So if we're talking about May 9th, obviously the price was like around like $60 in the beginning of the day, more so like around like 46 during the middle of the day. Don't know when that transaction was taken exactly, but it's roughly around the $60 to $30 range either way. Early on May 10th, it was like roughly around like $30. It kind of traded around like $30 throughout the day a little bit until this massive drop in price. At around like 1 p.m., it started to tank drastically, and by roughly 8 a.m. on the 11th, it was already down to 91 cents from roughly $30. That is pretty significant. Now, when we look here, right? So we go over to this next slide here, and we do see the 2 exchanges are now likely to come under increasing pressure to disclose which cryptocurrency market participants were able to exit their Terra stablecoin positions last Monday and Tuesday at close to par value, while retail holders of Terra and Luna have lost nearly all their money. I've seen retail individuals come out saying that they lost over $100,000, $1 million. They lost, their house and things like that. I always say don't over leverage, but guys, it is inevitable. You will have people take massive risk because, again, they hear about the risk-reward factor, and it's so great. Luna's going here, Luna's going there. And then all of a sudden, things like this happen, and a lot of those individuals lose everything. And it's terrible, but this is, at the end of the day, a possibility with anything in this market. But the problem here isn't the fact that retail individuals, lost everything. It's the fact that the whales, the major high-tier individuals, got their money out, while the retail individuals got absolutely burned and crushed. We do see here, check this out. How hilarious and tragic is Luna UST being an algorithmic stablecoin when you can just cut a backroom exit deal before you dump on retail investors and probably add a leverage short on your way out the door. Now, essentially what they are saying here is that if they did sell at around these prices of like $30 roughly, even if you look at like $60 to $30, bare minimum, right? At the low end, $26, a massive short open around this range all the way down to roughly 0 would be incredible profit points if you knew exactly what was going to happen. In my opinion, if we are looking at this as an insider job, then they would essentially know that this price was going to crash, which they would have opened a short, which would have resulted in massive amounts of also gains off of this tragedy. So this is interesting. I'm actually excited to see, things come out about this, because I actually want to know if this was a massive insider job. Also, I want to know if we could have that class action lawsuit to repay the debts on some of those retail individuals that did take a major hit. Now, we also did see LFG disclose their holdings of Bitcoin and all that. As you guys do see, they had 80.3K Bitcoin. They currently have 313 Bitcoin, as they had to sell it all to back the peg. And I don't know exactly what happened around this, but it is interesting to see, they update or their updated assets that they are currently holding. It's pretty comical, to say the least, when you look at how much they actually had to sell to try to, reserve the UST peg. But now we've been seeing a few updates around the situation, and we also have been seeing some other stablecoins being hit with some depegging issues. We did see DEI, stablecoin has lost its peg to the dollar and is down 33% in the last 24 hours. After UST, Deus Finance joins the failed stablecoin list with DEI's dollar depeg. And honestly, again, when we talk about a lot of these stable coins, I've always said, pay attention to things happening around this market, specifically around, some of the top tier, stable coins, specifically USDT and USDC. It's interesting when we looked at USDT in terms of that, instability factor that we just recently seen. If you look at Tether and USDC, they did the opposite. When, Tether was starting to depeg, we seen the USDC, really kind of increasing in value, because everybody was kind of jumping ship and jumping into USDC. So that's interesting. We can definitely tell which one is, more supported in terms of that area. But we also did see BUSD also start to gain some value as well. But we also did see, Terra founder Do Kwon has proposed a new community-owned chain for Luna, the Revival Plan 2.0, essentially. So to just reiterate a little bit of what happened here, so we do see here, Terra is more than UST. It has been inspiring to partake in the dynamic discourse regarding the best next steps for Terra, taking feedback from the community and thoughtful proposals. I would like to suggest the following for the plan forward, and we will read into this and talk more about it, but basically they break down. So currently, these key precepts underpin most schools of thought. The lunatic community is unparalleled in its passion. The builder talent pool is broader and deeper on Terra than most ecosystems. Terra's blockchain is incredibly robust, as attested to by the recent event. At the same time, however, competing interests from varied stakeholders, e.g., Luna holders, UST holders, Terra builders, etc., make it extremely difficult and unlikely to achieve consensus on a cohesive, congruent plan. It would be devastating for broader crypto adoption and advancement if we remain in entropy amidst opposing views, and as such, I propose the following to chart the path forward for our ecosystem. The Terra chain, as it currently exists, should be forked into a new chain without algorithmic stablecoins called Terra. Token Luna, and the old chain be called Terra Classic. Token Luna Classic, it's LUNC. Both chains will coexist. New Luna will be airdropped to Loon C stakers, holders, residual UST holders, and essential app developers. Also, TFL's wallet will be removed from the airdrop, making Terra a fully community-owned chain. We believe this token distribution, in addition to the best efforts by LFG to make UST holders whole, best solves for varying interest and time preferences for each stakeholder group, and most important, creates the most viable path to revive the Terra ecosystem. Terra 2.0 is focused on developers. Developers will get an immediate emergency allocation of Luna tokens to fund Runway, as well as pool of tokens earmarked to align the interest of the base layer with its builders. Call to action: we encourage Terra developers to signal support and commit to build on the fork on public channels ASAP, because we've been seeing a few other networks basically reaching out to Terra developers and offering incentives like $30,000 from a few to really kind of build with them. And we do see TFL will be initiating a governance proposal for the network fork in the next few hours. If the proposal passes, then it will coordinate the fork with validators next Friday, the 27th. The Terra community is my family. I will always be here no matter how hard it gets. Let's build it back together. And it's pretty interesting here. So, with a lot of these updates, we are seeing, again, we're seeing a new token coming out, so LUNC, which is pretty interesting. And we do see, the breakdowns here. So Terra's app ecosystem contains hundreds of developers working on, everything from DeFi to fungible labor markets, state-of-the-art infrastructure and community experience. Terra Station has a large installed base with millions plus users across the world. Although distressed, strong brand recognition and a name that almost everyone in the world will have heard about, especially now. I mean, if you think about it. But we do see the summary here is fork the Terra chain into a new chain without the algorithmic stablecoin. And it's going to be interesting to see this airdrop. It's also going to be interesting to see the incentivization of those individuals that did, basically lose out on a ton. So I'm excited to see this. We do see the token distribution is, 1 billion Luna tokens currently. The airdrop rate or the snapshot date is the 27th, so you're going to want to be, holding your tokens at around that time. 25% community pool controlled by staked governance, 1% essential developers, emergency allocation, no lockup, 4% essential developers, 1-year cliff, 4-year vesting, therefore after. Granted after launch traction, 35% all bonded/unbonded Luna minus TFL at pre-attack snapshot for wallets with less than 1 million Luna, 1-year cliff, 2-year vesting thereafter. For wallets with greater than 1 million, 1-year cliff, 4-year vesting thereafter as well. 10% Luna holders. We do see here, at the launch snapshot, 10% unlocked at Genesis, 90% vested over 2 years thereafter. 25% UST holders at the launch snapshot, 10% unlocked at Genesis, rest vested over 2 years thereafter. So pretty interesting, and you guys could definitely read more about this, but we are seeing the announcement out tomorrow. We're seeing the governance proposal out on the 18th. On the 21st, Terra Core releases cut network launch instructions made available for validators. The 25th, essential app developer registration completed. The 27th, Genesis file created from the final launch snapshot, and then the network launches on the 27th. So with this in mind, I mean, this is pretty interesting. I'm definitely going to be watching this very, very closely. I'm definitely going to be, taking a quick look at this and how this does really kind of do in terms of this massive launch. But I really do have to appreciate the idea on them really kind of incentivizing those individuals. But if this was an insider job, I'm not going to be able to look past that. Of course, we don't know if this is speculation or not, but I think that when we look at the attack that happened, it is something significant, and I think that right now we should definitely be focusing on those individuals that did get hurt out on this massive drop in price. I do hate to see these whales being, free of the clear, if you will, that got out before, of course, retail even, knew exactly what was happening. I mean, it happened so quick. So again, I don't like the idea of these individuals basically getting a bailout while, retail individuals do get burnt, because we see that happening on every single almost on an everyday life basis around, even real life outside of crypto. So again, I don't like this, but hey, we got to see what happens with this. I'm definitely going to be keeping a close eye on the launch of this new Revival Plan 2.0 and see what happens with this new token as well. But with that in mind, I hope that you guys enjoyed this. If you guys did, definitely leave a like, subscribe, turn notifications on if you guys want more free content. You guys are more than welcome to follow me on Twitter and join the free Discord down in the description below. As always, up to you all. Have a beautiful day or beautiful night wherever you guys are in this beautiful world. It's been Nick. Peace out, guys.